What's up, everybody? What's going on in the boxing world? Well, Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor is a prime example on why, in my opinion, some Americans should not do, not all, but sometimes, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to get out, you got to get your name out there and stuff like that. So you can't really dictate what promoter that you get with and stuff like that. But Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor is a prime example on why a lot of Americans shouldn't do business with Edward Hearn, right along with Michael Hunter. And the reason why I say that is because first of all, you have a promoter that's always putting your business out there and out there on Front Street without initial approval of your team. You sign a contractual agreement for a multi-fight deal with Matchroom Boxing, and the way Matchroom Boxing wants to do business is not call you, not hit you up and stuff like that behind closed doors, but put your business out there on Front Street, whether or not it's truthful or not. I think Amanda Serrano would wipe the floor with Katie Taylor, just like Pursoon did. I think Pursoon won that fight, but you know what? I can believe she won the fight all day and all that stuff, but guess what? It all boils down to what's in the record books at this point. So, I can't go back and say that and say I can say it, but I can't go back and like officially take it away. You know what I'm saying? Take that win away. But watching Twitter between Lou DiBella, Amanda Serrano, and Edward Hearns, it just made me think that this is the reason why this is the reason why people shouldn't do business with a guy. You're gonna sit up over there and tell somebody that you change 3 dates, right? And then you change them again, and you want to get on Twitter. It was like, well, I talked to your promoter, and your promoter agreed on it, but the fighter never heard anything. The fighter never signed anything. Then Lou DiBella comes out and say that he never signed nothing either. So he never agreed on nothing either. So, I know there's a question mark on Lou DiBella as far as is he a trustworthy guy? Is he a guy to believe in and stuff like that? I'm quite aware of that. But still, the fact to remain is that why would you want to do business with somebody that doesn't have your best interest, and their best interest is another fighter? It ain't. The best interest, Edward Hearn's interest was not Amanda Serrano's interest. That's the reason why he always citing people up for multi-fight deals. And then at the last minute, but then why you sign up the deal with. You sign up a multi-fight deal with these guys with the DAZN thing just so you can get a fight when they could have been made the fucking fight. You see what I'm saying? They could have been. Then you want the other fighter to move up like maybe 1 or 2 weight classes. I think it's 2 weight classes just to fight Katie Taylor, right? So it just makes me think like, as far as the business side when it comes to boxing, because guess what? I'm a fan of boxing, and guess what happens? The business in boxing is something that you want to learn, because that's what's going to show you why certain things happen. You're not going to learn how certain things happen if you're not really paying attention to what's really going on. Reading the rules and regulations and stuff like that from all these different boxing commissions, from all these different boxing organizations and stuff like that, and making a good synopsis on who's really ducking who and stuff like that. And because people be lying. Ain't no promoter out here is going to say that their fighter is point blank out here ducking somebody and stuff like that. Nobody's really going to do that, right? But, when I see Edward Hearn, nobody's denying whether or not Edward Hearn is a good promoter or not. No one's denying that. whether or not he's a good promoter or not. Can he make fights? Can he get fighters money? Nobody is cares about that because we're not pocket watchers. Well, I'm not. My whole thing is I do not like people getting over on other people. I like fairness, especially when it comes to sports, especially when it comes to these athletes. Because when these athletes is gone and stuff like that, who's going to know? Who's going to care for them? Who's going to sit up over there and talk about them? There's only a few handed guys out here on YouTube that I know of that make past fight videos that talk about fighters from back in the days and stuff like that. Damn, you looking at this porch like you're a porch pirate. That actually do things like that, and that's blood boxing, scrapbook boxing. They actually take you back to the old days in boxing, the golden eras, and bring up fighters you never heard before, bring up fighters you heard before, bring up things that they can remember that they did research on and stuff like that. And guess what? That gets you in tune. That gets people back in tune to boxing history. Because when these fighters is gone, nobody really fucking remembers. Don't care. Don't care. So, it's fighters. That's why fighters, they should get paid. Yeah, they should get compensated. But at some point, some fighters, they should have to do their civil servant duty and give the fans what they want to, pay their dues in the sport of boxing. But in this case, that's not the case. Amanda Serrano's been fighting for a very long time. So when you look at Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano and the Edward Hearn situation, I don't really respect that. How would you like it if you don't know what the hell is going on and somebody tell you that you're gonna take this fight because you're contractually obligated, and then you get threatened with big words? Well, he insinuates that he's going to sue and this and the third. No, and now, well, he can't. Well, he can, but he will lose. But he will lose. First of all, you can't even really have a fight during this COVID. Second of all, you always have to have a bout agreement before you have a fight in the United States. So that means is if the fighter signed over the rights to the promoter, that means the promoter signs in lieu of the fighter, or the fighter has to sign that. So if nobody ever signed that bout agreement, then what? Then you can't have a fight on that date. You cannot just take a fight with one bout agreement, the initial bout agreement, and just pencil whip the date and countersign on the date and say this is good. No, both parties have to agree on it. And that's just it. Now, if Edward Hearn wants his 10 grand back, that's his business. But a fight camp don't cost no 10 grand. It costs way above that. A day's wage is what? Food, transportation, sparring partners. Tape ain't cheap. Gauze. Y'all know how much tape costs? That tape, not the gauze, the tape. That shit is like $4-5 a wrap. I mean, a thing. $4-5 a thing, and that's one hand. That could be one hand, or both of your hands, because you got small hands. That's $4-5 right there. So take everybody else, your nutritionist you hired, the sparring partners, the new guy you brought in to teach you some new techniques and stuff like that. Think about it. 10 grand been gone. You got to pay for these people's flights. You got to pay for these. You probably got to at least pay for their room accommodations, because if you're bringing somebody from out of town, they ain't got a job. So at least it's either you give them a place to stay and a food stipend. You know what I'm saying? Some type of per diem. So that 10 grand is gone. I don't know how fast you guys think a grand can go in one day, let alone 10 grand can go in one day. But that didn't do nothing but just take some of the burden off. Of course she got it. Amanda Serrano got her own damn gym in New York. Oh, you didn't know that, huh? But, I feel Edward Hearn that if he's frustrated and stuff like that, and stuff like that, he couldn't make this fight and stuff like that. But supposedly the fight was supposed to go down. At one point, they were talking about having that fight, having Dillian White versus Povetkin and Amanda Serrano on that card in Edward Hearn's back garden. What kind of shit is that? I wouldn't want to fight there. To me, I would think that's disrespectful. Even what's the white lady? Not Michelle Joe. It was even one of the white ladies that do sports commentating and stuff like that. Well, not sports commentating, but does interviews, right? She even said plantation. You know why she said that? Because Edward Hearn fucking said it. Well, they insinuating transatlantic and all that stuff. Then you're gonna fight at the big house, right? So if I was a lot of American fighters, I would not do business with Matchroom Boxing unless like nobody knew my name and I wanted to get my name out there, make some dollars, but I would have to move on. I would have to move on because the zone, like the theory of having an app like the zone and stuff like that is a very good thing to get out there for everybody. Like as far as like getting your name out there and getting exposure and stuff like that. But with this COVID-19 and all this stuff, that just put a hindrance on a lot of things in the sport of boxing that nobody out there could have foreseen. You know what I'm saying? So that messed up a lot of stuff. But nonetheless, you know, why would you want to go over there when things go awry? This guy's going to blast you out. He's going to kick you to the curb. You're not Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys are Anthony Joshua. Guess what? Everybody can't be an Anthony Joshua either. Everybody can't be an Anthony Joshua. Everybody can't be a Tyson Fury. Everybody can't be a Deontay Wilder. And the list goes on and on. Can't everybody get those type of paydays? But when you see paydays of people getting $20,000, $10,000 for a boxing match, just because they want to get that exposure and stuff like that, that shows you that at some point people are really hungry and they're really willing to sacrifice their to get in the ring and do what needs to be done. But they could do that. You could do that when you're on that type of playing field. But when you're not a novice and you actually know the craft of boxing and you've been around for a very long time in the sport of boxing, you've been holding down women boxing in America right along with, the Melissa St. Villes, the Clarissa Shields of the world and stuff like that. They've been holding it down. I think them three been holding it down up over here. But still, it's like, what do you want? What do you really want? I'm not gonna be out here and say that they should both take a pay cut and this and the third, blah blah blah, woo woo. When knowing now well that could be their last boxing match. That could be their last match. Why would I say that? Why would I even insinuate that somebody should go home broke? I'm not going to say that. You know what I'm saying? I think especially these women, they be taking some nice little shots in there. Yes, a lot of those don't go past 10 rounds with the big ass gloves and shit, but they taking punishment. The training camp costs X amount of dollars. The flights, all this stuff you got to do, the sacrifice that they had to take to do this stuff, and they've been doing it for a very long time. And yeah, I believe these women should get paid. But that's all going to boil down to how bad does people really want to sit up over here and give these women exposure? Because if people are not buying the pay-per-views and people are not showing up to the matches and stuff like that, that's going to correlate to how much money you get. But how much of these people out here been giving women, I don't care where it is, they just dues in the sport of boxing. Let alone how much can Matchroom Boxing do for the sport of boxing here in America? For boxers here in America, he can't do much, because when you go down the list and you start actually paying attention, he hasn't done a damn thing for a lot of these guys. Yeah, he be giving them paydays, but he ain't been giving them paydays like Top Rank and PBC and I think that's Clarissa Shields. God dang it, the Jewish dude that always wear the yarmulke. Like them, he ain't doing that. Ain't doing that. So You know, y'all be warned. If y'all get in with Matchroom Boxing, you might want to hire 2 lawyers to read your contract. You might want to pay somebody to read. You got to pay somebody. I don't care if you want. I don't care if you want to hire Bob Arum or Al Heyman to be your consultant for these contracts or something like that, because what's going to happen is you're not going to get the Don King treatment, but there's going to be some stuff in there that maybe your team might not fully understand, or maybe not ever thought that it was going to be in the contract. So you might want to do that. You might want to hire somebody else outside of your camp and stuff like that, because this is your life. You can trust whoever the hell you want to trust, but this is your life. So if it's your life, this is your responsibility. And ain't nobody gonna sit up over here and have, I'm for sure not. I'm gonna feel bad for you, but I'm not gonna have no. Yeah, I got them lobster tails thawing out. That's the only way I know how to throw them out, man. I don't know how to throw them out without the water. So don't be over here trying to critique me throwing out these lobster tails, because I got them soaking in water and talking about, oh, you losing the taste, Mike. You messing up the lobster tails and stuff like that. Well, you make a video, you put it in my thing, and I go look at it, and I might use your recipe. But like I'm saying, I don't think that's what fighters really want. I don't think that's what's in your best interest. You know, that's why you don't see Deontay Wilder over there. That's why you don't see a lot of these other guys over there. You got guys that's trying to get in the game going over there, or trying to maintain order in the boxing rankings. That's about it. Because you know Edwin Hearn is going to swindle his way to get you some type of fight, get you something. So that's what people do. You know, you're gonna get up in there with the zone, get Danny Jacob. You know what I'm saying? And every time somebody leaves Matchroom Boxing, they not saying hire me back. You know? So y'all do what y'all got to do. I think Madison Serrano is a very good fighter. I think Katie Taylor is a good fighter. I think them two get in the ring. I think it will be a very, very good, tremendous fight. But at the end of the day, if this fight doesn't happen because of one promoter wants to be greedy over the other promoter, or one promoter wants to overexert his will over another promoter and fighter, then I think they did as wrong. You got to treat people like human beings. You got to treat people like adults and stuff like that. And like I said, and in this day and age in boxing, you know, well, as far as I stand, it's just fairness. You got to be fairness, you know, and that's because the boxers are here for a limited time, and when they're gone, they're forgotten. Shout out to the LDBC, and everybody stay sucker free.